Hey, what's up everyone? I'm Colby from Sanitarian Productions. We're back again with another action figure review. In this episode, we're taking a look at the Mythic Legions line. This is the Advent of Decay Goblin Legion builder. So this is a very cool looking product line. It is very similar to the Masters of the Universe lineup. If you've not familiar with the Mythic Legions line itself, they're basically the 6-inch scale fantasy figures. These were put out by the Four Horsemen, which is very cool. They're some of the people that did some of the original sculpting for the Masters of the Universe Classics line, if you weren't aware of that. But these things do come on some really awesome looking card backs here. Very nice, colorful Mythic Legions logo on it, some really nice card art on the back, and then the sides have like the faction symbols on it, and then we got the actual name here on this side, the Goblin Legion Builders. So yeah, cool. And then the back has more information about the Mythic Legions and some other products in the assortment. Very cool. You can check out mythiclegions.com evidently. So go check that out. This is a pretty cool one. Again, this is the Goblin Legion builder. The whole idea behind this set is that they are very much mix and matchable, and you can kind of swap things out. And for people who like to army build, they include things like extra head sculpts and cool stuff like that. So anyways, that's kind of just an overview of the Mythic Legions themselves. Let's go ahead and dive into the figure. One of the cool things about this particular series is that they have made this pretty much with collectors in mind. So they have made the packaging to be resealable. So basically all these things, these little flaps and everything, you just kind of pull the card out of it. There's no tape on these things or anything like that. So very cool. Again, that really nice card art. That pops out, and then you have access to your actual figure. We got a bag of accessories, and then the blister pack for the figure itself. And then that, again, you can reuse this and reseal everything if you like to keep things packaged and things like that. So it's a pretty cool little concept. So I'm just going to toss this stuff to the side. Again, I really like this card art. But yeah, I'm going to put that to the side here for right now. And let's get this stuff out. So he does come with this cool sword, scimitar looking thing right here. And we'll zoom in and take a look at everything individually here in a moment. The figure itself does come with these crazy plastic tie things, which I'm not going to untie. I'm going to cut. Simply because I don't really like untying them all the time. This does mean, though, that you can't reuse these ties to keep it held in place after you take it out off the card, but not a big deal for me. They actually sit in there pretty well without these little plastic tie things. So, yeah, I don't care one bit. So, let's go ahead and get this guy out. Apologize for the racket while we get this guy loose. Lifts out pretty easily. Very nice. We'll, again, reuse this at some point, but throw it to the side for right now. And I really like goblins, so it works well with this whole fantasy setting. And so yeah, one of the first ones I picked up was this cool goblin guy here. So and then we have a whole nother bag of accessories here. So let's go ahead and just slice this thing open. Well, I guess it just pulls apart mostly, but it's sliced now anyways. And then we're going to dump all this stuff out and see what we have. Lots of bits and bobs and cool. So there is that. The alternate head is inside another bag, but it's not sealed. So we're just going to slide that out. So yes, we get a lot of cool accessories here. So where do we start here? Let's start with some of the accessories here. So we do have a whole bunch of these little bits and bobs. These things are kind of, again, they're interchangeable, so you can kind of mix and match them wherever you want to. They just kind of plug in on like the back, and then you put other stuff in there. Then same thing here, you can plug that in there, and it gives you access to all these other types of things. So actually, if we'll flip it up like this, you can actually plug in things like wings and all sorts of cool stuff here. But yeah, so there's a lot of stuff here. So we've got these shoulder pads, and I guess we can zoom in a little bit here. Bear with me while I adjust this camera, and that might give us a little better look here. So we have this shoulder pauldron. You can see here there's a little peg there. The peg fits here on the back, so you just kind of peg that in place, and you have a slightly different look for the armor. And there's actually the two pieces here, so you can do both of those. And again, it's really meant for customizers, so you can customize this to be whatever you want to. So you can have one shoulder pauldron, the other shoulder pauldron, both of them, none of them. It is really up to you as to how you want to do that. As far as just looking at these things themselves, got some really nice detail on it. It does look very cool, very much like that kind of hammered metal look to it. Same thing for the other side here. Very nice. Here is that other piece. It's got a kind of a shinier metal. Again, some nice details to it. Mix and matchable. It's the same thing with this. They have these big holes on the front, little holes on this one, so you can kind of do whichever of those you prefer. And then you've got these like spiky bits that can fit into these things and put them wherever you want to. You can pull his hand off and put that on as like a peg hand thing. You've got these cool, yeah, so sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. So here is this accessory. This is the little spiky bit. Very nice looking. It's a spiky bit, so not a whole lot to look at there. We have this little extension piece here. Again, I am slightly new to this series, so I don't know exactly what you call all these things, but we're looking at them anyways. We also have this cool skull thing right here, which looks very cool. Lots of detail on it. Then we have this cool belt, sheath for the sword. You basically just slide the sword in there like that, and he can hold it around his waist. And you just kind of slap it around his waist, and or around his chest, however you want to do it. Very cool though. It has some a nice feel to it. It's got that plasticky feel to it, but it's still pretty nice and flexible. Got some nice like leather textures on it. Some really cool details on these things. And I do like it because it does have that little place there to hold whatever accessory you have. You can take the axe and stick it in there if you want to. I'm not doing a good job of showing you, but there, so it holds the axe in there. All sorts of cool stuff. So that's a cool accessory. We have this really long spear, which is very awesome looking as well. Not a lot of detail on it, and it's not really flexible, but it's flexible enough. So, cool looking spear. We also have this cool hand axe. Again, some nice details. Looks very awesome. Very cool. And then we have this cool scimitar looking thing. Very nice detail on it. Oh, get the focus to come back on this thing. I really do like the way they do their weapons on this product line. Very cool. Then we do have the alternate head here. We'll take a look at it. It is basically the armored head. The actual face mask itself is non-movable, so you can't move it up and down, but you see his ears poking out. If you look inside there, you can see the little green in his yellow eyes, and you may not be able to see that really well with the camera here, but there you go. Yellow eyes underneath there. Very nice detail. Got the standard kind of peg system there for the head. But yeah, very cool looking helmet. And you got these little pieces here on the back, which again you can take like that spike and stick there. Pretty cool. I like that. So there's the alternate head. Let's go ahead and look at the actual figure itself. A very cool looking goblin. I really like the detail in the face and the head sculpt. Very cool looking. The ears are slightly bendy, so that's cool. The cool, almost metallic sheen on his eyeballs. That is very nice. Then you have all this cool detail work on the actual armor itself. They've done a really outstanding job with all the detail on this thing. Very cool all the way around. You can see all the little rivets and things like that in it. Very cool little spiky bits all the way around. And the back side, again, you've got the little plug-ins for accessories, the shoulder pauldron plug-ins. These are all the soft plastic, and same thing with like these bits here. They are a softer plastic, so you're not going to like break them too much. The boots are a little bit less bendy, but that's fine. This little piece around his neck here is removable after you pull the head off. You can just kind of pull it out from that little plug-in piece there. It's a very cool little system they have worked out here for all this interchangeability. So you get more figures, you can change out accessories however you want to. It's a very nice way of doing business and doing that interchangeability side of it. As far as articulation goes, it's got plenty of articulation. We'll go through it in a minute. One thing I will caution you about is that these guys are sometimes a little fragile, I guess would be the nice way of putting it. So before you go about bending things and twisting things and all that good stuff, you may want to consider maybe soaking it in some warm water to begin with. I'm not going to do that for this one, but we'll see how well this holds up. But just be aware they've had some issues with joints breaking and things like that off of these. And I want to say maybe they actually put a caution on some of these. I don't see it on the card back for this one, but I thought they may have started putting some caution warning labels on some of their figures to let you know that, yeah, these things are slightly fragile, so they're not meant for durable play wear, I guess, but they're collector's items. They're not necessarily play toys, so you may not want to give it to your 4-year-old. Anyways, articulation-wise, the head does spin 360 degrees. We have plenty of up and down motion, head tilt, everything you need. Very cool looking. We do have the standard ball and swivel at the shoulder joints. It's not really limited by that armor piece there whatsoever. It goes up about that high. But you can get it to go a little bit higher if you push it. We got a standard ball and swivel at the elbow joint. Again, I'm being a little careful with this one. But yeah, so that bit doesn't get in the way of anything whatsoever. It's made out of that soft plastic there. Then you have your standard swivel and rocker at the wrist joint. So that is very nice, very cool. We have the kind of standard chest rib cage articulation bit there. So you can see it's actually kind of like a ball joint, so it twists all the way around. Plenty of ab crunch motion there going on. Then we have a waist twist. Then we have kind of the standard plastic ball joints at the waist and hips. We have plenty of front motion, plenty of back motion, and plenty of side-to-side motion. Lots of that, actually, so that is very cool. We do have, it looks like a single knee joint, but we also have a swivel there at the mid-thigh point. But single knee joints. And then we've got the swivel at the top of the ankle, plus this cool rocker ball joint at the ankle. So, yeah, this thing has tons of articulation on it, and really does a really good job of going wherever you need it to go. We'll pull that down. That one's a little stiff there, but so it doesn't feel flimsy or anything like that. It is pretty solid, but again, this is one of these smaller figures in the set. It's a Goblin, so it's supposed to be a little bit smaller than everything else. So as far as armoring him up here, you can grab the axe, stick it in his hand. Mostly. The weapons are a little bit big. There we go. So you just kind of have to roll them around a little bit to get them to go in there. But once you get hold of it, it's not a problem whatsoever. We'll grab this cool sword thing, and he's got that. So if you were to put this on there, he would also be able to stick this in behind him and carry a spear around and everything like that. So all in all, this is very cool that basically he can hold all of his weapons at least. These extra bits and bobs, of course, depending on how you want to configure it, he can wear all of it or none of it or whatever you want it to be. So yeah, that is pretty cool. So all in all, it's a cool looking figure. Some really great accessories going on. And yeah, it's cool looking. I really do like the sculpt on this guy. It's a pretty awesome looking sculpt here. For those of you all wondering about like scale and things like that, I do have a Masters of the Universe Classics. This is the He-Man figure from the, what was this? This was the DC versus Masters of the Universe 2-pack with He-Man and Superman. So it's a standard He-Man buck. How's that? So you can see, as far as scale-wise, this Goblin here is not quite half the size of a regular He-Man figure. The other figures in the line are scaled very similar. Again, this is supposed to be a small-looking figure, so all the rest of the Mythic Legions lines are scaled appropriately to like the Masters of the Universe figures. In case you're wondering here, you can mix and match weapons, which is one of the things that did draw me to this particular line. So we can take like this axe here and give it to He-Man, and it works just fine. Very nice. Same thing, we can take this axe from He-Man and give it to this guy here, and he can grab it and use it, and it just looks really nice and is very easy to interchange that stuff in and out. We'll try it here with the scimitar. Get the axe out of He-Man's hand. And now he's got a scimitar. So, yeah, that's one of the great things I do like about this particular line is thematically it fits in well with the Masters of the Universe line. And you can interchange these weapons all you like. So yeah, this is a cool set here. Price wise, These things go for around 40-ish retail. I usually pick them up from Big Bad Toy Store. Not a sponsorship or anything like that here. That's who I typically go through. You can also get them straight from the Four Horsemen's website, so check those out as well. Very cool. You can kind of find them whatever. They actually have a ton of different figures. This is technically like wave 8 or something like that. There's about 150 of these different types of figures in the Mythic Legions line. They started on Kickstarter. They've been doing a lot of stuff over the years and have a really large back catalog of figures. I don't know that I'm ever going to get all of them and get them to the review table for y'all, but just be aware there are a bunch of them. I will be getting a few of them in here, there, and abouts and reviewing them for you as they come in. I think I've got one more on my table right now that we'll look at in a upcoming video very soon, but I wanted to kind of start here with this Goblin Legion builder because I really like the goblins there. I'm a big Dungeons and Dragons fan. I do role-playing games and things like that, and so this one really just stood out to me as a great representation of, to be honest, it actually looked like the goblin from the Pathfinder realms, so that is also a reason that I kind of picked this one up. But it's a very cool looking figure. It is really awesome looking, and I'm really happy with it so far. So yeah, that's the Goblin Legion builder. Well, that's all the time we've got for today, so thanks for watching. Drop some comments down below. Let us all know what you think of the Goblin Legion builder from Mythic Legions. Have you done much with the Mythic Legions lines in the past? If you have, do you have a figure that's your favorite figure from that set? If you've not seen this before, what do you think about this in comparison with Masters of the Universe and other types of 6-inch fantasy line figures here? If you'd like to see anything in future episodes, let me know that. I'll see if I can get it out in front of y'all. And yeah, until next time,